Hi, everyone. This is Shannon Port, and I welcome you to the Goddess Report for December 2020. And so if you are new to the channel, today on the Goddess Report started last April, and it is an addition to this channel. We look at all of the wisdom of the Divine Feminine, and really the intention here is bringing a voice to the goddess as we're anchoring more and more wisdom and love on our planet at this time. And so this is a really exciting time. I'm very excited to be here doing this live stream today on a Sunday. Tomorrow is the lunar eclipse in Gemini, and then we have a total solar eclipse coming in December on December 14th. And we also have the Jupiter and Saturn conjunction happening in Aquarius on December 21st. And so I'm just going to give it a minute, and it looks like some people are on live. The chat is open, and I look forward to having back and forth with you today. Quick announcement before we start about what's happening in the month of December on the channel, and I'm really, really looking forward to this. I had told you that I'm planning to be on more frequently. Beginning December 1st, which is 2 days from today, I will be live doing goddess meditation to anchor this energy really deeply onto the planet through this platform from December 1st until the solstice at December 21st, when we have the first conjunction of when we have Jupiter and Saturn conjunct in Aquarius at 0 degrees, really kicking off this new age. And we're going to talk a lot about that archetypal wisdom today. But I want you to know that, it's so nice to see all three of you. Wonderful. So this is the thing. I'm not sure if I'm going to do 12 noon every day, Eastern Standard Time, or 3 p.m. If you have a choice, let me know. I'm thinking 3 p.m. would allow people to come on from New Zealand and Australia, but I'm flexible, and perhaps I'll move it around. But as of right now, let's say 3 p.m. on December 1st, Eastern Standard Time. I'll be here live, and we'll be working together every single day. This is what the Goddess Report has been building up to. We are truly, truly entering into a new age. And so I'm not going to talk too much because I get talking and then it takes me a while to get to everything. We will start with the download for the Goddess Report for December 2020. This was received. Hello from Turkey. Please let me know where you're tuning in from, and I'll take a peek down in just a moment. Yay. I'm so happy in my heart right now to be connecting with people from around the world, because it's a really positive and powerful time. So I'm going to read this Goddess Report. It was received this morning, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'll get through this, and then we'll look at the eclipse energy. We'll look at the conjunction, and I'll tell you a little bit about what we'll be doing on a daily basis in December. So here we are. All right. Well, first of all, at the beginning, I wrote up top, communication, arrow, word, arrow, wisdom. Communication, the word, wisdom, highlighted in the Goddess Report. The word is very connected to Gemini, and we have the lunar eclipse in Gemini. Tomorrow we have the North Node in Gemini. And so I will begin. The goddess is always present within you, ready to work in service of the law of love. The goddess is always present within you, ready to work in the service of the law of love. That is what the wisdom on this channel is about. It's about the great law of love. And that is what the goddess represents. Her presence works through your awakened heart and shows itself as the highest wisdom, which is divine love. Now, I just want to add on, this also has to do with healing the emotional body. So it doesn't mean we're at divine love right away, but eventually her full expression is the awakened heart showing itself by the highest wisdom of divine love. Humanity is undergoing a great shift at this time, and a lot of us know that. It couldn't be more obvious. Oh, wow. We'll talk about some of the things going on as well. One that will lead us into the age of Aquarius. Aquarius is an air sign and is connected to the breath, as well as the heart and the central pillar on the tree of life. The archetype of Aquarius is the star, represented by the 8-pointed star of Venus. Venus corresponds to the heart. We're talking the law of love in the language of the divine feminine now, and the powers of our creative imagination. I'll read that again. The archetype of Aquarius is the star key 17, and is represented by the 8-pointed star of Venus. Venus corresponds to the heart and the power of our creative imagination. She also awakens our awareness of the collective consciousness of brotherhood and sisterhood on planet Earth. Aquarius is known as the inventor's sign, showing a correspondence with Uranus, its ruler. Highly, highly inventive, unique, and original. So this is going to be the age of being original, of expressing our uniqueness, and we'll talk about that. Kabbalistically, Uranus is the higher octave of Venus. So the ruler of Aquarius, the age of Aquarius, is the higher octave of Venus. And that's why I always say this is the age of love and the age of the heart. It's the age of Venus. Both stimulate the creative force of the goddess, Uranus and Venus, the creative force of the goddess. Uranus is the higher mind connected to the God mind and can bring great downloads of information, innovation, and inventions, even words of power. Uranus is really the word. It's the mind, and it's the high logos that we talk about. It's the Christ. It's the Christic force. The word will be incredibly heightened in this new age. This is very important because we're seeing it already. As a race, we are preparing for this shift now. Our words will have more power and will move the elements for or against us in a much more rapid way. Again, we are seeing this already. The power of our words throughout all of the platforms we see in the world are creating a lot of friction, a lot of tension, but also spreading huge amounts of information for humanity. The forces will not be kind to words that are not connected to the heart and the higher mind and spirit. It will really rumble up the lower forces. They will bring upon a quicker destruction and a downfall. This will be misunderstood at first. At first, when we see this happening, we won't really link it back to the word and the use of the word, but this is all about the power of the word. This is the age of the word and how we speak and what kinds of forces we unleash when we speak to not only one another, but to each other and to the world. And there's a lot of energy surrounding speech and the freedoms that we have around that as well. There's going to be a lot of shifting that happens that is working through an evolutionary process that can stir up a lot of fear and a lot of anger. But if you're in the right place, you will ride the wave right into this age. It's a really powerful time. We see now with so many words being released into the collective via our technology and social media platforms. So many words with anger, with rage, with hate, with accusation, with vengeance, with retaliation, with deception. There's also a level of truth coming in. So I want to be very clear about that. There's a lot of truth coming in, but remember, with the goddess, and this is the goddess report, truth has to be connected to equilibrium and balance, highly connected to Libra and the scales. In order to truly own the word of the goddess, there has to be an accountability. It can't just be thrown out there from lower emotions and from vengeance that fools itself into believing it's doing good when it's really not. It's connected to a lower form, and there'll be a lot of forgiveness and compassion around this, but the universal forces will do their thing. And so the quicker we wake up and understand this, it's just going to put our trajectory further into the evolution. Oftentimes these kinds of attack energies are disguised as news and even as spiritual messages that fill the ethers. The word Uranus, also the Fool in the archetypes, and the Hebrew letter Aleph, which is it's the air, it's the breath of life and the heart, it's the limitless light of creation, is creating the reality we live in collectively. So I'll stop right there and then I'll take a peek down. Everything we live in is a result of human beings' words and thoughts and actions. So whether we stoke up the serpent and the lower forces, or whether we download the forces that are coming in through this crack in the matrix, is depends upon how we use our God force, our creative imagination, and our words. This is what makes us high on the evolutionary chain, that we as human beings, we have the ability to manipulate matter and to make choices and to form and forge relationships. This is about the Gemini lunar eclipse tomorrow. Based on our mind and our words, we can always choose new. Nobody can take that from us unless we give our power over to other things. I'm going to take a quick peek down and just see who's here, and then I'll continue. All right. Oh, nice to see you from Boston and Norway. Love it. Toronto. Oh, from California. So nice to see you here. So this is, as you might be gathering, we're really talking about the power of the word here and how there's a crack right now that's allowing us to receive the higher word, the divine logos power, which is the Christ force, the Christic force. Now is the time of the great balancing. We bring it down upon us ourselves based on the frequencies that we create with our words. This is the law of love and the great work of the goddess, the great alchemy of the goddess is what we are doing right now. This is the age of the great work. This is the age of, in divine feminine astrology, if you've been following me, and I work with the Sophionic astrology and Sophionic codes, we work with the transmutation of the zodiac. We are integrating and transmuting these archetypes so we gain the power of our fallen, our animal powers. And notice most of the zodiac is ruled by animals. It represents our animal nature. And so the shadow side of all zodiac powers is our animal nature, which summons the serpent from below. But as we transmute, we're calling in the true powers of the divine human being. So this is the great balancing right now. The year 2020 was Pluto. 20 is judgment. And it's, as we can already see, the balancing has begun. This is truly what has been prophesized, that everything is being dismantled. We are really having to take a step back. I believe that all of the lockdowns have been very powerful for people to look at their lives and reassess what's important to us right now. Many people, there's also a lot of isolation and depression. We have so much compassion for that. I've had some of this myself at times. And, but it's also forcing us to take a good look at what matters. People are unifying, even though we're separated, with family. We're healing friendships. We're healing family. At first, it may bring up some friction and turmoil and tension, but it just makes us look at these things. And that is part of how the goddess works too. Think about it. We had to stop our daily lives and come into our homes. The home is the goddess itself. The womb is the goddess and the home is the goddess. So even though it's a mixed bag, we have a lot going on right now. As Kali, the goddess Kali, we see her as death and destruction. So when you think of the goddess, people oftentimes in the Tree of Life, even with Binah, we think of death and regeneration. Key 13, which is Scorpio and Scorpionic. We think of Kali, the goddess of destruction. What that means is that with our own mind, we have the power to destroy one thought and create another. If we don't like what we're creating, we call upon the goddess. We can reinvent ourselves over and over. And that is one of the gifts of being human. And the age of Aquarius is about inventing. It's about being unique, but it's also about harmonizing our words so that we're in alignment with divinity. It doesn't mean we came here to experience the lower realms, and we came here to understand our power and to learn from our mistakes. But we need to learn. The Divine Mother and the Goddess asks us to grow up a little bit and asks us to spiritually mature so that we truly get to live the lives that we're meant to live and evolve into, some people call it 5D, the throat chakra. Well, that's one example. I teach this a lot in Light Body Yoga. 5D is the fifth dimension, and it's the power of the word. When we hear, and then we often talk about the technologies coming on the planet right now are also the number 5. And so 5 is highlighted right now. 5 represents the fall into matter, and which happens in the sign Taurus. And right now, the ruler of Aquarius, Uranus, is in the sign Taurus for 7 years. So when you learn to read the language, you can see the language. The outer zodiac is telling us the story of our consciousness, and we can either be on the lower side of that, or we can rise into the higher side of that. Okay, I'm going to pick it up. So Kali, death and regeneration. We're seeing a lot of death right now. The regeneration of what I often call to the new image and the divine image, the projection from our core nucleus of our divine image, which is what I work with when I work with galactic core code sessions. And it's very, very powerful just to understand, especially Aquarius, I want to say, also governs astrology. So not only are we in this age of Aquarius, but we're in the age where we're going to really uncover astrology and our higher galactic astrology and understand what all of this means and how our technology is really available to us. We think computers are technology, but the world around us is a high, high technology and a high, high frequency. Okay. Oh, nice to see you from Rome. I have my, my painting behind me. I know it's not Rome, but I always think of Italy and some of the amazing goddess art that was birthed in Italy. We might talk about that. All right. So the goddess. Okay. During these times, we can access the greatest power of her vision if we choose to open our heart center and receive. The feminine principle is about receptivity. We have to learn to become more receptive. We have a lot of poverty on the planet. We have a lot of strife on the planet and turmoil and struggle and politics around one simple thing, that we haven't fully accessed the power to receive. When we understand the law of receptivity, we understand how we are actually meant to receive the divine wealth of the cosmos as divine children of the goddess. But we have to raise the bar for our level of creativity to access the real goodies, the real powers, and with the forces of nature on their highest level, the highest level of Elohim and the creative spirits that work through human and the elements. We are a technology to work with these powers, but we have to come into alignment to become the vessel. So I'm so excited about this. I'm so excited. And I invite you to invite your friends to come for these 21 days that we'll be doing on this channel, because we really, really want to help create that vessel leading into the potent solstice at December 21, because it's going to be a beautiful, beautiful time, one of great positivity, although we have all the other things happening alongside of it. So, the Netherlands. Wow, I have a huge crowd from around the world today. So nice to see everyone. Okay, so, this is big. All right. Okay, to receive the divine guidance of our soul. So the soul is our intuition. It's the number 5, and it's the Aerophant, as represents the ability to receive light even while we're in matter. To receive spirit, our intuition in matter. This is all connected to the age of Aquarius and accessing that higher faculty of the mind for everybody, all human beings, all colors, all races, all genders, all religions, all beings have this power. All of us are created with this technology inside. And we're going to have to eventually, we have to heal things, but we're going to eventually move beyond. And you know, when you're working in this vibration, you see everyone as so beautiful and so unique, and we honor that uniqueness. There's no need to seek validation in the outer world because we beam our own validation from our soul inside our auric field, and we're going to become more and more radiant to the world and awakening our body of light to be able to create and choose the archetypes that best suit us, because we're all different. We all have different planetary archetypes that we work through. That's what I do when I do the galactic core code sessions, is that we have a blueprint. So not everybody's the same, nor should they be. When you look into nature, I'm going way off the script now, but nature is so diverse. Not every animal belongs in every kingdom. Not every plant suits every region. Everybody creates their own kind of environment, and we need to allow for that kind of multicultural. We don't want to move into monoculturalism. We want to honor that everyone should be treated fairly, but we want to honor diversity and multiculturalism, because look at nature. Nature has its own climates, its own regions. Some thrive in the water, some thrive in the land, some thrive in the air, some thrive deep inside the earth. It's about finding what your expression is this lifetime and really owning it. Nothing, oh, whoops, okay. Our soul is the creative feminine power, and it is coming into our conscious vehicle in a much greater way as we prepare our mind and heart, and will be the trinitized vessel of divine love. The trinitized vessel of divine love. Nothing can take away the power of our breath. There's attempts, but nothing can do it. Our emotions, our creative imagination, and our love. Nothing can take away these things from us. We all can find a space and start to regenerate. Use the goddess Kali if you have to, get rid of the old one, let it die a death, and rebirth the new image. All of us have this power, and now is the time to understand it. No technology, no leader makes no difference, no system, no fallen power. We each decide, but we must learn how to create our space. So, our space. What is our space? Above us and below us. And that's why we do I am, and we'll do I am at the end. I am in 7 directions is creating our space. And we also use many different words in the 7 directions, but that is what we do. We emotionally, we align our emotions, we align our mind, and we align the power of our will to create, to know that we can create that space. Our aura is our container, and we can choose. Now, with what's happening in the world, with all the technology, and we're going to be talking a lot about that, it's a little harder, and the ethers are very busy. The frequencies in the ethers are interacting with our brain. But when you go into deep states of meditation, which there's so much to say, which, by the way, is Aquarius, the star, the Hebrew letter Zadi, is the fish hook. And it represents how we go down into our subconscious and draw up the vision. So here we must know that power is within us. And then we live by our own vision. When we go into that state of meditation, which is why we're doing 21 days of meditation in the next, in December, leading up to the solstice, the winter solstice here in the northern hemisphere, because that is a state that trumps the lower frequencies. That is a frequency neutralizer, and it's an override frequency. Meditation, true meditation, is an override frequency to some of the distortion we have in the field. It's all meant to be. All of these energies battling each other, it's all part of what was meant to be. There's no need to have fear. We do have to take care of ourselves. I'm going to just take a peek down. Hello. Nice to see you. Oh my gosh. From Minnesota. I have a lot of family in Minnesota. Okay. A lot of Irish family in Minnesota. Lots, like hundreds and hundreds. All right. Okay. So the trinitized vessel of divine love, nothing can take away our power. We said that. How to work with healing our emotions, our thoughts, and our feelings to bring them into alignment that creates the frequencies of the age of Aquarius. Understand what love is, the greatest thing you can do. Understand what love really is. We have to, each one of us has our own code around love, but each one of us has to understand what it means for us and really anchor that in. That's the goddess. The goddess is love married to wisdom, and then she gives us true power. So each one of us has a note to sound. Make sure that you sound your own note and then anchor yourself to it. Don't let it go. Let it be your island in the storm, in the ocean. Don't give up that. It's your foundation, and the foundation is the soul. So, and it's the raising of the lunar consciousness, which we've seen. We talked about in the Archetypes of 2020, which is still on this channel, and I'll be doing one for 2021, which you can sign up for. There'll be a bunch of signups below today. I'll come back and put those. We talked about how the subconscious mind was going to rise up. We saw the great rise of the waters and how that would flood the earth. And that's exactly what has happened. The great wounds of humanity are being released onto the planet to be healed. So we come into with this, the force of the goddess brings us into alignment with our universal soul. There is a silence. This is really important. There is a silence that permeates our actions. We don't seek in the name of the ego. We are supported in all our needs. So and very much still human beings. So this isn't woo-woo, far out, turning into something other than human. This is the fact that we are still very human. In fact, on one level, Aquarius represents the divine human. And we're humbled, but there is a divine energy, a divine sacred, divine feminine energy that emanates from our projection and our trajectory. And it needs no validation. So just know it's a hard lesson to learn, but we seek validation in healthy relationships, for sure we do. But we also are learning how to validate ourselves. That deep inner divine mother validation gives us the power to do whatever we need to do. And that's why we're here today. It needs no validation and doesn't measure its worth by the standards of this lower laws of this consciousness. The 3 D consciousness we're in right now has a lower law of nature and a lower standard. At the same time, it honors them. We still honor these laws. We don't trample all over them. We aren't arrogant. We aren't self-righteous. We're righteous in the way of the goddess, but we're not self-righteous. In other words, we're not ego righteousness. We're righteous in truth. We're righteous in the law of love. We spread love and lift people up. We'll call out things we see that are wrong, but in a way that allows the divine to work through and to raise it up. It's always about raising it up. It's never about punishment. It's never about justice. Has been misinterpreted in this plane. Justice is the goddess, and she has her own way. She works through the law of love. At the same time, it honors it honors them, and it honors all beings while silently holding the new codes for this age. We hear a lot of people talking about codes. This is what we're getting into. This is a new way of being for a world that has fallen, and there will be a great adjustment period in the years to come. The forces are battling it out for sure. We see that. Remember this, and then I'll take a break. Nothing can take away from you your own sovereignty, your creative light. You choose it. Do not fight with the dark, fallen, and blind force. Don't fight with the serpent. Go within and establish your own foundation, like we just talked about, and do it now, and you will sail through this time. And be a great light for your loved ones, a bringer of the age of Aquarius. Okay, so we're going to take a moment. I'm going to go quickly look at the eclipses. There's a big one in Gemini tomorrow. The eclipse in Gemini is conjunct Aldebaran, known as the bullseye in the constellation of Taurus, and it's the red star, and it's one of the brightest stars in our night sky. It really has a significance that the Gemini eclipse will be conjunct Aldebaran. The moon will be conjunct Antares, and we'll talk about that in just a moment. Those are two big gatekeepers into the galactic core of the goddess, and so they're being activated. I'm going to take a peek down, and I'll see if there's any questions, and then I'll go right into some of the astrology, and then in the end, we'll get to what we're going to be doing in December. So, all right. I'm a Gem Sun. Hi, beautiful soul. Double Pisces here. Nice to see you. If the island in the storm. Yeah. Hi from Austria. Oh, I have a lot of family in Austria as well. If anybody has a question, you can pop it up now, and I'll take a peek down, or anything you want to just share and bring in. Would love to hear what time you think would be a good time to meet every day, starting December 1st through the 21st. Okay. And if I get a lot of one time, I'll consider it. So, all right. So let's see where we're going to go from here. Okay. So as Aquarius rules technology, we're entering the age of Aquarius. It couldn't be more obvious. AI is huge. Go back, if you're new to the channel, listen to Message from the Goddess. It's on the Shannon Port channel. Also, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell for December, so you'll be notified of our daily live streams. The Message of the Goddess really states the download that was received when we started the Goddess Report. And so if you haven't heard it, it's pretty powerful. It was very powerful. I remember trying to read it and I was kind of shaking. But this is what we're here for right now. It talks a lot about technology and AI. That's why I ask you to check it out. We will be the center. Technology is going to be the center of our big, great dilemma. And just like it was in the Atlantean age, how we use technology, how we combined it with our sexuality, with our lust, with our shopping, with our, how we set aside human connection for technology will be really, really tested. Really, really tested. There's so many powerful things that technology can do, but it can never replace heart energy. Never. It can never replace the human soul. It's going to be very dazzling and delighting, and it already is. And it's going to be able to meet many of our carnal desires. Absolutely. It already is. It already does on the internet. We have all the various, things that we consume via the internet, but it will also, there'll be a temptation that it can fill the need of the heart more than human energy. We're going to be really weighing these things out more and more and more as we go into the age, to where there's a choice of whether or not to hand over the soul in place of the illusion of God power. There'll be a certain integration of both, but there will be a final judgment, a last judgment, where we decide, and we're in 2-0s. We're in judgment. When we enter into 2021, we're changing into a new archetype, and I'll be talking all about that. I'm going to do an Archetypes of 21 probably around December 17th, and that'll be a webinar that I'll put a sign-up link for, because I'm going to talk about, through the Divine Feminine lens and the Divine Feminine astrology, what 2021 really means. 21 is connected to cosmic consciousness, and truly it's connected to the Hebrew letter Shin, and it's also has to do with the fall into matter. So there'll be a lot of things that we'll be talking about at that time. Oh, I'm glad it's resonating, and good to see you. 12 or 1:11. Oh, nice to see. Is that Eastern Standard Time? Is it Eastern Standard Time? Okay, so Aquarius rules astrology, and the great work that we talk about in Divine Feminine astrology with the Sophia Astro Codes will be accomplished. the great work of raising the human being into the body of light. At this time, and those who choose real love will thrive. Aquarius also rules the breath and meditation. We talked about Zadi, the fishhook, and the creative imagination. And the North Node in Gemini, which is also an air sign and governs the mind, will be trying to Jupiter and Saturn at a certain stage. And so there's a lot of, it will be raising up the element of air. Air is our central pillar. On the tree of life, air is the central pillar. It's the balance. This is going to be a time to understand balance more than anything else. If you need to go to extreme, do it, but only to heal, because the forces of nature will be at your command as you find that. So let's look at the lunar eclipse happening tomorrow. This will affect the month of December, so I'll just go over it quickly. Conjunct Aldebaran, one of the brightest stars. It corresponds to Michael, and the gatekeeper of the east, which is the gatekeeper of the rising sun. Very, very spiritual significance. The lunar eclipse in Gemini is conjunct Aldebaran. And it's the warrior at its highest level of, this is in quotes, at the highest level of evolution, the true warriors battles their inner demons to raise their consciousness to better serve. This is fully what the age of Aquarius is about. And I'll repeat that in just a moment. Eastern. Okay, wonderful. All right. We'll repeat that. This was a quote I saw on a site. I think I have the site. It was an archived astrology article. It doesn't have a name on the website. Okay. At the highest level of evolution, the true warrior battles their inner demons. Think of the Bhagavad Gita, to raise their own consciousness to better serve. First, to serve themselves so that they're whole enough. We have to first heal, because we can't truly give until we're healed at the same time. Sometimes giving can help the healing process to begin, meaning sometimes we just need to get started giving to others or serving in some way, and our hearts will open, and then we can do the true healing work. So sometimes it works both ways. If you're having a hard time, serve somebody, be kind to somebody, and you'll awaken the flow of the powers of the heart. All right, the age of Aquarius is service of humankind. It's brotherhood and sisterhood. It also Aldebaran is connected to the Persian deity Mithras and the sun. So it's a powerful correspondence and archetype where in Gemini, that North Node is in Gemini right now. It's all about our mind and information we receive and choose to merge with. Right now, you don't have to fight everything that's out there. A lot of people and a lot of my audience are split on different sides of even the political spectrum. But what I want to say is that it doesn't matter. Embrace what feels right to you, because everybody is seeing the truth for themselves in whatever ideology you connect with. But then use it to heal and raise yourself up to become universal, to become a more universal kind of goddess or a universal human being. So you can own whatever differences you carry. It makes no difference. You can be whoever you want to be, but meet people as they want to be seen, as themselves. Don't fight people and try to get people to change to be your way, or there's many expressions right now, all different expressions of gender, of religion, of culture, different things coming up. Allow people to get out what they need to get out. Just honor it and see the light in them, and nod to them as a brother and sister in this world, because this age is going to force us to come together. There's no way around it. There's going to be more and more and more things revealed, perhaps more unrest. I mean, the month of December is really rocking in terms of the astrology, but this is, thank you. This is about learning how to love each other. It doesn't mean we won't have boundaries. We all have our own home, our own family. We're meant to be able to keep a little membrane around that so we can thrive. We're tribal. Human beings are tribal like animals, and we thrive when we're surrounded by the things that we like. Sometimes we're forced to learn when those things are stripped away. But in a healthy environment, tribes exist. And there's a universal tribe of all of us, and really Aquarius represents this universal tribe, but you might thrive in your traditional culture of your DNA and your genetic lineage. You might thrive in your social identity expression and need to be around that group because that's where you really feel. You might thrive in your spiritual community that's working with the same language that resonates for you. We thrive in different cultures, but we're in this age where everyone wants to make everyone else's culture their culture. As long as we're being humane and treating each other well, we should be able to, like in the body. I also often use the body as an example of the whole of humanity. There's different organs, different cells, different nervous systems that operate. They're all working together, but they have their space to do their thing. You couldn't merge the heart and the liver. It would be, I think, a disaster. I can't say I know that for sure, but meaning the brain needs to be where it is. The brain and the gut is where it is. We have our reproductive system. We have our digestion. We can't merge those. And we know what happens when those things start to get holes in them. We have health issues. So it's okay. We need to start thinking universal, but allowing diversity. That's the age of Aquarius. All right, so I'll look at this really quick. So also coming in, there will be the solar eclipse in Sagittarius, huge, conjunct the galactic core, which is a very powerful trust is huge. Somebody just said, I trust my love. When your love is aligned, all you have to do is trust it. Trust your version of love and live by it, and you'll always be shown the next step. Even when you need to break down and regenerate one of your own thoughts, it will show you. So the solar eclipse, total solar eclipse coming on December 14th. I'll get to that in a moment. We'll do another video about it, but let's look at tomorrow. The full moon, Venus will be opposite Uranus exact. This is big. Okay, what did we just talk about? Uranus and Venus as representing the age of Aquarius. Uranus in Taurus will be opposite Venus in Scorpio, in her underworld, digging up, what's below, like Lilith. She's very much like Lilith. Exact opposition tomorrow. This is an energy. It's actually conjunct my Mercury in Gemini, so I can feel it coming in already. It's very mindy and quick moving, and that Uranus Venus opposition is going to be dynamic, to say the least. So if you have any planets conjunct Uranus and Venus and Scorpio and Taurus, you might be feeling that. Yes, with Uranus and Taurus also, we're going to be having, there could be a lot around money, because in the financial system, hopefully it's good money coming into all of us, but Venus represents pleasure and money and rules Taurus, and Uranus, and the Uranus is in the sign of money, the second house of Taurus. And so a lot of changes are coming with money, and there's a lot of fear around that. The money will be tempting. It will it will tempt us with the serpent. Money oftentimes aligns with the serpent. It doesn't mean it's not good to have money. We need it. But some of the things money is always one of the tempters, meaning we'll be looking at different ways of using exchange of energetic currency, which is all money is really meant to be, and developing new ones. I suggest you look at your real currency and attract what money you need from that place, rather than getting too caught up. The collective is moving right now to try to influence things, and we can certainly influence the amount of love on the planet, but some of the things that are playing out will continue to play out, and I really suggest not going into fear, but instead think creatively, think like an entrepreneur. Think, oftentimes spirituality is best if you take the masculine approach. The heart approach is great, but sometimes we have to be a businessman or a businesswoman and say, okay, they're giving me this. What am I going to do? How am I going to respond so that I continue to grow my light in my own, in my own endeavors, in my own projects that I'm seeking? Think creatively, and you'll never feel like a victim. You'll be like, okay, they're giving me that. I'm going to give this. I'm going to unite with this. I'm going to create, which is the goddess, create this. That is the crack in the matrix. The matrix can only hold you in to that 3D lockdown if you subscribe to what is it exclusively telling you. When you hear from the soul, the inner divine feminine, you don't go out to try to punish anyone who's in that system, but you have a secret. You understand where your creativity is coming from, and you love who you are. You own it, and most of the time we have our needs met. I know even in the country I live in, even though there's a lot of hardship right now and a lot of poverty, truly we're a wealthy nation. And a lot of us, especially if you're watching this video, most likely you have technology, you're plugged in, you're connected. We have a lot more than we think. We have everything we need to create with, everything. We're reinventing the physical world of Taurus with Uranus and Taurus for 7 years, so things are going to change. There's no way around that. Okay, we talked about Aldebaran and Antares, the Scorpio Taurus axis is huge, and those are two of the 4 royal stars and gatekeepers. All right, so I'll just briefly chat about the solar eclipse that's coming quickly. It's going to be in aspect with Ophiuchus, and some stars in Ophiuchus. So we're going to it's just going to be highlighting some of the truly divine feminine energy that's coming in at this time. The solar eclipse and the total solar eclipse on December 14th will also be conjunct the galactic core, the galactic center in the womb. And there's many more things that we'll talk about in the next video. Mars will be in exact trine with Mercury, and it will also be Neptune will be an exact square with Mercury. So that is going to be there's a lot moving in December, and that's why I'm going to be here for 21 days straight to meditate, to do the I Am Goddess activation for, of course, all human beings, male, female, and all expressions of our divine gender are welcome to this. We're going to be really activating the power of the heart. And so let's do I Am in the 7 directions, and then I'll close out. I have a couple announcements. All the links to the things you can sign up for, including something big I have coming in January, will be below in the description box. Let's do 3 p.m. Eastern time. That's definitely on the list. Thank you for telling me. Put down your times, because I would love to have as many people join live. Please share the video, share this video, share if you're on Facebook and you got the Facebook link. I'd be really thrilled if you share it. Let as many people know as possible. Invite your friends. Let's say 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on December 1st will be the first one. We'll meet at 3 p.m. and then we'll decide going forward. Repeating after me and seeing the light of the Logos and the power of the word in your creative vessel, in your auric field, in your space, to create the vehicle for your own creative imagination of the goddess. Repeating after me, I am before me. I am behind me. I am at my left. I am at my right. I am above me. I am below me. I am unto me. Take a nice deep breath in. Connect with an intention for this next month. Exhale it all out. And we'll activate the 3 sacred fires of mind, heart, and will with I am. I am. I know I am. I am. I am. I know I am. I am. The goddess is alive and with us, and this is truly the time that she's coming into the planet. I'll be doing the archetypes of 2021, and there'll be a link to sign up for that. For right now, it will be the sign up to the Akashic Insight newsletter. If you're not on that, you'll get on that, and then I'll send out the link in a week or so, or in a couple weeks. And I also am starting, I've talked to you about this. Well, actually, also I'll say, because I'm only doing these up through January 12th, a galactic core code session, which is really like a mini private workshop where we go into everything based on this wisdom. And so I only offer private single sessions a couple times a year. I'm on right now until January 12th. But that being said, if you're interested in doing a 3-month professional mentorship with me, it's a women's mentorship, Light Body Woman, starting in January 12th. There'll be a link to sign up to receive information on that this month as well. And so that being said, I'm going to take a peek down and see if there's anything else that you guys have to say. 3 p.m. Oh, glad you like that. I do too. I think 3 p.m. is gonna be good, and it will hit Australia and New Zealand too. So invite your friends. Make sure to subscribe. Please give the video a thumbs up to help it, and I deeply appreciate it. And come back and leave comments if you think of something you want to say later. The comments will be open after the live stream. And so that being said, beautiful to see all of you, and I'm just really excited to be alive at this time. I feel that my work is coming in, like I'm starting to see why. And you probably will see why too. Why your life has been the way it is will be revealed in these times. And so that being said, I bow to all of you. Many, many goddess blessings. And until next time, namaste.